Okay, we are live now. Let's start. So we'll start with Vandana. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami, dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami, dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami, dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami, tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami, tatiyampi sangham dhammam saranam gacchami, tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami, saranaagamanam sampunnam. Iti piso bhagava arham samma sambuddho vijjacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarathi satta deva manussanam Buddho Bhagava iti Svakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandittiko Akaliko Yehi Passiko Opanaiko Pachattam Veditabho Vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidam chattari purisa yugani Atthapurisa puggala Isha bhagavato savaka sangho Ahunayo Pahunayo Dakkhineyo Anjali karaneyo Anuttaram punyakhetam lokasayiti Panatipata veramani Sikkhapadam samadhiyami Adinādana veramani Sikkhapadam samadhiyami Kāmesu miccāchārā veramani Sikkhapadam samadhiyami Musāvādā veramani Sikkhapadam samadhiyami Surameraya majjapama datthana veramani Sikkhapadam samadhiyami Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Okay, so let's start with Dhatuvibhangasutta to practice. This is Majjhima Nikaya 140. To begin with, what we need to see is the 5 dhatus: Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Akasa. As we call dhatu, it is a quality which we are seeing. So let's start, instead of Patavi, we will start with Akasa for meditation. Each one of the dhatu you need to see for, let us say, 10 minutes each. So there will be a pause for you to observe for 10 minutes. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is space, Akash. So the room has space, and the whole house or the place you are staying has taken space, and so the earth has taken space. So that is Bahidda, outside me, and the space inside of me, if I were to take, it can be whatever I can see it as spacious in the body, like 2 holes in the ear, 2 holes in the nose, 1 big hole in the mouth, and then the food canal or the esophagus, which will connect to the stomach. There is a big hole, and anus and the private parts also have holes. So all of this, wherever there is hole, that means there is space. And if there is space, then there is going to be sound. So now what I can see is that just like the mouth has space from where the food is going, and the esophagus is having a space, and it go and fill up the stomach. So we feel, so we know that it is getting filled up with some matter. So we need to observe this keenly, the holes wherever we have, and observe it keenly with an understanding that it is just space. It's not my space or your space or this space or that space. It is just space. So there is nothing called internal space and external space, because it is just space. So watching the breath, you have to investigate the space. And then you lose the interest, or you or I will lose the interest of having it as my space, so it fades away. And then we can see eso na mama, this is not mine. Eso na mama asmi, this does not belong to me. Eso me atta, this is not myself. Presently, I feel the space is myself and the space belongs to me. This is my space and the space is mine. So by this reflection, which is vipassana or investigation, followed by the anupassana, which is contemplation, we are going to break the internal and external space. So let's try this for 10 minutes. Samatha practice would be to watch the breath. Vipassana would be to watch the holes. Anupassana, contemplation, is to observe what really is there. So there is no internal and external. Now, what you need to focus is that when you see someone, you just have to see the holes of the ear, of the nose, of the mouth. Instead of recognizing it as a person, you need to only look at these holes. So then you will lose that interest, and the internal space element fades away. So there's nothing called internal, and there's nothing called external also. So you'll just see it as space. So if you see me or you see anyone, just have to see the nostril opening, the mouth, and holes in the ear. Now let's take Vayu, air. Again, that which is having some movement called as air. Where do you find it? You'll find it in the breath. So the easiest to watch the Vayu is in the breath. And again, please remember that what we are doing, you need to have satipatthana. That means when somebody comes in front of me, I need to remember to watch the holes of the nose, the holes of the ear, the hole of the mouth, a big one. That is sufficient. I should not be concentrating on any other part of the body. Only this much. I need to remember. That is sati. Patthana is foundation. So foundation of remembrance or foundation of mindfulness. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is about watching things as they really are. Yatha bhuta jnana. What it means? Watching the two earlobes, watching the two holes in the nose, and watching the space which is in the mouth. From there the sound is coming. So wherever there is hole, there is going to be sound. In the same way, when the air moves, you know the air is moving. How? It is there in the breath. It is there in the bowels. it is there in the belly, which is the bowels, and the winds that go from up and down. So you feel like reflexes happening, and when we move the muscles are moving. You'll find the air, and then the movement across, that is circulation. The air moves things across. So if we can't concentrate on the other air, better to just look at the breath. So when I am watching someone, be it an animal, be it a human, I'm watching these holes and I'm watching the air coming out of the hole. I'm not watching a person. In that way, there is no external air. External air is in the space, there is going to be air. And when there is air, it carries the scent, which is smelt by the nose. Just like as long as space exists, so long you will be able to hear the sound. In the same way, as long as the air is there, the scent is going to be there. Gandha. So it cannot be mine. This cannot be said that it belongs to me. Eso na mama, eso na mama asmi, eso me atta iti. This cannot be myself. Now you contemplate on this for next 10 minutes. Contemplation means anupassana. Investigation is vipassana. Tranquility is samatha. So watching the breath, you get samatha. That helps you to investigate vipassana. Then you get into anupassana, which is to contemplate, to explore, to know. So when we are in anupassana, kaye kaya anupassana viharati. Now that get established. That means when kaye kaya anupassana gets established, one can see yatha bhuta jnana. So he says, kaye kaya anupassi viharati atapi sampajano satima vineya loke abhijja dvamanasan. So when I watch the whole, the abhijja and vyapada goes away. Because there is nothing to be got and nothing to be lost. So there is no gain, there is no loss. So I need to practice in that way. Now we come to the fire quality or tejo. Now what we can see is the digestion majorly. So as soon as we put food in the mouth, you can experience the digestion happening. And also you can feel the warmth in the body. You can feel the warmth coming out of the nose. You can feel the warmth coming out of the mouth. So contemplation, that is to observe, to have an insight, is to watch what is coming in the nose along with the air and what is coming in the mouth along with what we are speaking. You'll observe that it not only gets the air there, in that space we'll also get water droplets, which we'll be covering next. Then there would be heat. That is what tejo is. So either you can observe, that is contemplate, on the stomach where the food is getting digested, or on the breath which is having the heat, or even if you are scratching your skin, if you're feeling like there is a scratching sensation and when you scratch it you feel heat. So there is anything that is hot, you can watch, and especially in the mouth you can get all the three elements. Space, in that space there is vayu, air or wind. So when we speak we can feel the wind coming out. Then you can feel the heat, and the fourth element, apo, the water droplets can be felt. So if you keep your hand close to your mouth, somewhere around 3 inches, you can feel all the four elements or four dhatus. Dhatu here means quality. Dhatuvibhanga means division. So we are dividing a person, whatever we are calling as a person, to see in yatha bhuta jnana, that is seeing as the things they are, rather than seeing in some other way, which is calling it as a person. Let's practice this for another 10 minutes. Let us now start with Apo Dhatu, liquid quality. So 12 things are of liquid quality. We can take anything in this 12. So anything that is having liquid in that. So what are these which has liquid? Pitta, bile, semham, phlegm, pubbo, pus, lohita, blood, sedo, sweat, medo, fat, assu, tears, vasa, grease, khelo, saliva, singhanika, snot, lasika, synovial fluid, muttam, urine. Okay, now in this, easy to take is urine, saliva, and sweat. Take only these three. And also the water droplets which is coming out of the mouth when we speak. So we need to have a sati to see this water droplet, not calling it as I am speaking. That is just an expression. But what really is coming out is heat element in the space along with vayu. Then you have apo as water droplets, which is coming due to saliva. So then and there we can implement eso na mama, this is not mine, eso na mama asmi, this does not belong to me, eso na me atta, this is not myself. So let's practice to look at whether urine is mine. That becomes contemplation. That is anupassana. Is urine mine? Is saliva mine? Is sweat is mine? Is pus is mine? Is blood is mine? Like that. If I start observing, pondering, deepening, and getting an insight into it, that becomes anupassana. The vipassana portion is to observe, to investigate what is there. So it is water or liquid. That is vipassana. And making the mind to observe, to investigate is samatha. So we require samatha, we require vipassana, and then we have to do anupassana. Now you practice. Let us now come to Pathavi Dhatu, earth quality, which would be hardness and softness. So what I need to understand here is that there are 20 body parts I can investigate. So the 20 body parts is kesa, head, hair, loma, body hair, nakha, nails, danta, teeth, tacho, skin, mamsam, flesh, naharu, sinews and tendons, athi, athi is bones, athi minja is bone marrow, vakam, kidneys, hadayam, heart, yakanam, liver, kilomakam, diaphragm, pihakam, spleen, paphasam, lungs, antam, intestine, antagunam, mesentery, udariyam, stomach which has undigested food, karisam, feces, mattalungam is brain. Now, again here, I have bone, you have bone. I have teeth, you have teeth. I have skin, you have skin. I have flesh, you have flesh. I have hairs, you have hairs. I have body hairs, you also have body hairs. So there is nothing special. So when I see someone, I start with the space, watching the holes, if you remember. So that is sati. Then I started watching the air which is coming out. Then I started watching the heat. Then I started watching the liquid. Now I'm watching the solid. So what I find a person is nothing but these 5 elements or these 5 dhatu, which is the quality. So now if I am able to remove the internal earth element, internal water element, internal fire element, internal air element, internal space element, or internal earth quality, internal water quality, internal heat quality, internal air quality, and internal space quality. Then the wisdom gets established. Contemplate to deepen your insight by observing deeply this Pathavi Dhatu. You can take either bones or skin or flesh or hairs or teeth, nails. All of this comes to help. Then you see, you cannot call it as mine. You cannot call it as this belongs to me. You cannot call it as this is me. This is myself. Let's do this for another 10 minutes, and the next session we will take Vijnana, which is consciousness, that is more subtle than these 5 dhatus or quality. Vijnana dhatu is very difficult to understand, so we will take it in the next session. Do this for 10 minutes and then we'll end the session. Okay, then, so let's end the session for today, and maybe we can meet up tomorrow or day after or whatever day is feasible and continue the practice of Dhatuvibhaṅgasutta, more to do with the Vijnana. Try to read through MN 140 once and keep on practicing the 5 dhatus: Pathavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Akasa. Don't start with Pathavi, instead start with space, observing the holes, then the air, then the heat, then the water, then the Pathavi. May you attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Let's end the session for today.